Dirty dealings, corporate battles, consumer woes. This is Evening 5. Putrajaya has approved the expansion and upgrade of the Penang International Airport PIA worth some 1 billion ringgit, which will be handled by Malaysia Airports Holdings. According to a Bernama report, Transport Minister Anthony Loke said the actual cost will only be determined after the tender process, as there are also plans to expand and upgrade the facilities and infrastructure near the airport. Loke said the government is hopeful that the project can start immediately and be completed within 4 years. Last October, Loke said the government had approved an allocation of 93 million ringgit to facilitate the land acquisition and infrastructure developments for the airport expansion, which would increase the terminal's annual handling capacity from 6.5 million passengers to 12 million annually. On another note, the minister reportedly said AirAsia has submitted a request and received preliminary approval to impose a carbon levy on passengers. Loke stressed that the charges are intended to be minimal and will be determined by market forces, since high carbon taxes could deter people from flying. Nestlé Malaysia closed its FY 2023 on a higher note as its fourth quarter net profit rose 11.5%, thanks mainly to the absence of cukai makmur that was imposed previously. Quarterly earnings improved to 148.1 million ringgit, with revenue climbing 2.3% to 1.69 billion ringgit, contributed by positive domestic growth despite some correction in export sales against a high baseline last year. But profit before tax dipped 3.6% to 176.66 million ringgit, primarily due to higher operating expenses as it recognised impairment losses for some assets. It announced a third interim dividend of 1 ringgit 28 cent per share. For FY 2023, net profit rose 6.4% to 659.87 million ringgit, as revenue expanded 5.8% to 7.05 billion ringgit. Separately, the group announced it has appointed Tan Sri Wan Zulkiflee Wan Arifin, the former CEO of Petronas, as its new chairman effective May 1st this year, as Tan Sri Syed Anwar Jamalulail will be retiring from the group after 15 years at its helm. Wan Zulkiflee is currently an independent non-executive director on Nestlé Malaysia's board, a post he was appointed to 4 months ago in October 2023. Nestlé Malaysia's shares fell 0.1% to 121 ringgit 50 cent, valuing the group at 28.49 billion ringgit. The Armed Forces Fund Board, or LTAT, has appointed its Chief Financial Officer Mohammad Ashraf as its interim Chief Executive Officer. Meanwhile, the chairman's position is being temporarily held by Defence Ministry Secretary General Datuk Sri Isham Ishak. Isham was previously the Deputy Chairman of LTAT. The interim appointments follow the departure of ex-CEO Datuk Ahmad Nazim Abdul Rahman and Chairman Tan Sri Raja Muhammad Afandi Raja Muhammad Noor in January and February amid a review of the Fund Board's strategic plan spearheaded by its management. Defence Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin said LTAT is operating as usual following the change. He added the interim appointments are not out of the ordinary, pointing to the resignations of CEOs Datuk Nik Amlizan in 2020 and Datuk Sri Amrin Awaluddin the following year. He said a list of credible candidates are being finalised for the two roles, and a retired Armed Forces General will be appointed as LTAT's chairman. On its restructuring plan, he said he personally does not have any issues with Sustainable 25, though specific proposals involving the reorganisation of the business model and management of shareholdings need careful consideration. Tenaga Nasional booked a 27.8% fall in net profit to 583.9 million ringgit in the fourth quarter of FY 2023 from a year ago, on the back of lower imbalance cost pass-through or ICPT under recovery and lower forex gains. Quarterly top line improved by 5.7% to 13.65 billion ringgit. It declared a dividend of 28 cents per share. For FY 2023, TNB's earnings fell 20% to 2.7 3.77 billion ringgit, while revenue expanded by 4.3% to 53.07 billion ringgit. The utility giant noted that for FY 2023, it reported a fair performance, mainly underpinned by electricity demand growth of 3.8%, consistent with the country's gross domestic product growth of 3.7%. While the non-regulated segment was impacted by negative fuel margin, it sees improved receivables and working capital position on stabilizing coal prices and improved electricity tariffs. It also voiced its commitment to play an integral role to support the national energy transition roadmap. Shares of Tenaga rose 0.53% to close at 11 ringgit 42 sen, giving it a market capitalization of 66.09 billion ringgit. RHB Bank saw its fourth quarter FY 2023 net profit fall 24% due to lower net interest income and higher provisions. Earnings for the 3 months stood at 585.91 million ringgit. Net interest income slipped 17% to 867.22 million ringgit, while non-interest income jumped 26% to 623.22 million ringgit. It declared a second interim dividend of 25 cents per share. For the full year, net profit rose 4.8% to 2.81 billion ringgit. Net interest income fell 15% to 3.56 billion ringgit, and non-interest income rose 16% to 1.84 billion ringgit. Looking forward, RHB expects net interest margin (NIM) to remain under pressure this year amid higher funding costs and intense competition for deposits. Group MD cum Group CEO Mohammad Ashraf said RHB is eyeing 1.8 to 1.9% of NIM for FY 2024 versus the 1.82% achieved last year, while gross loans are likely to grow by 4.5% versus 4.8% in FY 2023. Shares of RHB Bank were 0.5% higher at 5 ringgit 68 sen, valuing the bank at 24.35 billion ringgit.